The Book of Mel. Babe, wake up. We both can't be out of work, and if you don't get up right now, we will. Sorry, I just had the weirdest dream. Mel apologized while shaking the sleep from his eyes. You can tell me all about it in the car. Now go pee, brush your teeth, and take me to work. And with that, her newly anointed husband hopped out of bed and got a move on. So tell me about this dream you had, Liz asked as they turned out of their quiet neighborhood and onto the busier main road, taking them into town. It wasn't like any dream I've ever had. Yeah, it was foggy and vague, like most dreams, but there was something about it. Something so vivid, so real as well. Interesting, Liz interjected, truly invested. She knew how her husband can get lost in his own mind and loved to hear his dreams, helping her unpack what exactly was going on in his rat's nest of a brain. She was drawn to his intelligence and fell in love with his potential. If she could just help him unravel his thoughts, he would reshape the world. If he just found a moment of clarity. I know you always say that, but for once I actually agree with you. So tell me more. What was so special about this one? So it starts with me walking through this meadow with someone. I never get a good look at him. I'm viewing this scene more from a third-person perspective, behind myself and what feels like a friend. Mel answered, making eye contact with his wife with the intent to connect with her, to convey just how moving this was, only to see a smile spreading like wildfire across her face. See, this, he stated indignantly, pointing to said smile, this is why I don't share. His tone mocking in a fun little way. Sorry, please go on. She quickly interjected, while miming wiping the smile from her lips, holding back the joy that her man might be finally seeing her point, that he might need someone other than her in his life, a friend. Fine, so it quickly jumped to me standing in this giant cave, with structures, homes, trees growing inside the cave. Mel could see the confusion on his wife's face, like she had questions but didn't want to interrupt the rare moment of vulnerability, of sharing. It wasn't like any cave I'd ever seen before. He paused briefly, checking traffic on both sides before making a left turn onto another busy road. It was massive, and it was bright as day as well inside the cave, even though there was no apparent opening letting the sun in. He paused momentarily, checking both ways, waiting for a break in the traffic to make another left turn. Then it just kinda shifted. I was still in the cave, but was no longer watching in third person, but I was me and was talking to this old man with a grey beard. He looked and felt a lot like the Renaissance art depiction of God. You spoke to God? Unable to hold back her question, even though she didn't want to break his train of thought or put words in his mouth. Liz knew that would only make him defensive, closed off. I don't know, maybe. The words labored and pained him to speak. He never dreamt of God. It wasn't like he was some militant atheist or anything, he just wasn't super spiritual. Not that he didn't want to believe, he just couldn't blindly believe. He needed proof, but was open to the thought of God's existence. If that's where the evidence led, and to this point in Mel's existence, that wasn't where it was pointing. God or not, the two of us were just talking. I mean, it seemed like we were talking, but I can't remember any of what he was saying. He just trailed off after that, looking at the red light. Liz just waiting. Did he have more? Was he trying to remember, gathering his thoughts, or just staring at the red light? She never could truly tell. Is that all of it? Mel could hear the disappointment in her question. It wasn't so much what happened, just how it felt. It felt so real, and the weirdest part. Mel left that hanging as he turned into his wife's clinic's parking lot. And, Liz asked with bated breath, risking being late for a rare peek at what was going on in her man's head. Just, I don't know, it will sound stupid. Mel turned away, not able to make eye contact, like a child ashamed of something they thought was cool only to be ridiculed by his peers. Spit it out before I get fired for being late again. Fine, it's just I never dream about God in any way, and there was no denying that this was God. Or at least I thought it was God. And with that, his wife kissed him, jumped out of the passenger seat before leaning back in through the open passenger window. We can talk more when I get home. Good luck on the job hunt today. And who knows, maybe this was a sign that God is watching over you and has a plan for your future employment. And with that, Liz scurried off, not waiting for his inevitable cynical reply. Mel could see the small red light on the answering machine blinking as he tossed his keys in the bowl and loosened the noose that was his necktie as he entered the apartment. "You have one new message," the robotic voice stated, each word deliberate, clearly cut and paste, single words and not a sentient sentence. "Hey babe, hope the job hunt is going smoothly. No need to rush back to pick me up from work, a friend will be giving me a ride home. Love you and can't wait to hear all about the amazing opportunities you found today." Her love and optimism drowning out any hiss or pop in the cheap magnetic tape from being constantly overwritten. Even though the love poured out the speaker so clearly that a deaf man could hear, it was lost in the way she said, "a friend," when describing who would be giving her a ride home. His jealousy took hold. Clearly Liz loved him, and this feeling was more about his insecurity, his poor self-image, than being rooted in anything that Liz might actually do. All her actions, that of a woman who loved him and only him, but Mel never understood why. She was so perfect. Why would she love him? It was only a matter of time before Liz realized she could do much better and take action. Was this the friend that would set off the Rube Goldberg machine that would ultimately lead to the end of their marriage? Mel was sitting on the porch, smoking a bowl as the black Mercedes SUV pulled into the drive, his wife waving with excitement from the passenger side. "Nice car," Mel commented, hoping to hide any accusatory jealous tone as Liz walked up after exchanging thanks and goodbyes with its driver. "I know, right? They had leather seats and such a smooth ride." "Really nice car," Liz replied, thinking Mel actually wanted to talk about the car and not its driver. "So how do you know a woman driving such a nice whip?" His use of the kid's lingo to help break any tension, any awkwardness at the real root of his question. "That's Kate. I told you about her." And with that pause, Liz scanned his face for any recognition. She definitely told him about Kate. No way her husband isn't listening to her. "The doctor at the hospital next to your clinic. The one that brought you coffee the other day when you left your wallet at the house." "Exactly." Her eyes lighting up, pleased that her man really is listening, taking a genuine interest in her day. "She's so nice. I bumped into her in line for coffee again today, and she offered to give me a ride home when I insisted I buy her coffee to pay her back for the other day." "So how did the job hunt go today? Anything promising?" The upbeat energy from talking about her new friend carrying over to the optimism about her husband's job prospects, less worried about the financial ramifications of his employment and more about what it was doing to his self-esteem. Liz knew she was Mel's entire world, that he would always provide for her, physically and emotionally as well as financially, but hated how it wore on him when he couldn't. "Sadly, I've got nothing lined up for tomorrow. I'm so sorry, baby." Genuine failure and dejection in his reply. "Perfect." Liz could see and understand the confusion on her husband's face. "I mean, it sucks you don't have anything lined up, but it's perfect that you're free tomorrow." And with that she could see her husband's defenses raise like a drawbridge at the sight of an invading horde. "Why, what did you get me into?" He knew that perfect could only mean his wife had his tomorrow already mapped out for him. "So," Liz began coyly, choosing her words carefully to not scare off her man, "I was thinking about your dream, and Kate was saying how her husband knows this amazing spot. It's a cave near a meadow, and figured it would be like your dream. Liz, he will pick you up bright and early tomorrow morning." She continued with her stern, "You will do this since you're not working" tone. Knowing he would have no reason not to go, no way to counter her trump card of him being out of work and just sitting around the house, he agreed to the playdate. "Appreciate you having me. Do you mind if I—" Mel asked, motioning to his sandwich, sitting shotgun in the cab of his playdate's pickup. "Enjoy." Burke nodded with acceptance before returning his eyes to the road. "So how long you and Kay been together?" Struggling to talk with a bit too much peanut butter for all the letters to form fully. "Seems like we have always been together, but in the realm of holy matrimony, not much longer than you two." A small smile gracing his face, lighting up as he recalled that day in May. "I didn't realize Kate and Liz were so close that we need husband time together, but I'm dying to see this spot." All remnants of the gummy peanut butter swallowed, a resigned honesty taking its place. "This spot is the reason you came." "Well?" Mel backpedaled, feelings as he had offended him with his last comment. He meant it in a positive way, but quickly saw how he could take it having been forced into coming, or something to that effect. I mean, of course, right? Like I'm ever saying no to pretty much anything Liz asks. Ended with a forced chuckle, hoping to bond over the old trope of newly married men and the need to keep their wives happy. But I really am intrigued about your spot. Making sure that last part was nothing but sincere. Exactly. I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm missing something. Well, yes, you definitely are missing something. Burke's tone so matter-of-fact, not changing at all with each direct, succinct response. Oh crap, are you going to murder me? Really hoping some levity would help, even if Mel was only 75% joking. Quite the opposite. Still no change in his tone, demeanor, or stare. Burke never taking his eyes off the dark, tree-lined dirt road. Mel not really knowing what was going on. Should he just tuck and roll out the passenger door? Then what? They had been driving forever in this dense pine forest. He wouldn't get far. You need not be afraid. I have no intentions of harming you. In fact, I need your help. And with that, Mel's fear quickly subsided for intrigue. A million questions flooded his mind. What could he possibly be needed to help with? I need a quartermaster, and was told you were the man for the job. As though Burke could read his mind. I have a job. He didn't, but he didn't like where this conversion was heading either. A lot like a woman using, "Sorry, I'm married," when she was home each night with her cats. Yes, you are my quartermaster. And who exactly referred me for this job? Anger intertwined with an urge to know, needing to see the connection. And what the fuck is a quartermaster? God. Oh, I see now. Yeah, I'm going to have to pass. Tuck and roll is starting to look a lot more attractive. God has already contacted you, showed you your place in this world. I think I would have remembered God reaching out and touching me. Sarcasm and skepticism, the twin barbs on that witty retort. Have you dreamt of God often? No. His reply hollow, faint as if said by reflex, someone other than himself. His no sad, shameful, like he wasn't good enough for God to even bother. So when you did finally see him, you don't believe that was him? I'm sorry, what? His previous objections, born more from incredulity, anger, but this was genuine confusion. Did this stranger just say what Mel thought he heard? You may not dream of God often, but you have recently. Burke finally locking eyes with Mel as he put the truck in park. I know words hold little sway with you. You need empirical evidence. All that matters is what happens in reality. He stated through the driver window, having exited the truck. Reaching into the cab through the open driver's side window, grabbing the pair of torches. If you truly want proof, it's just down that ridge. You coming? Initially paralyzed, why would he go off into the woods with this psycho? To know. To know what could his proof possibly be. Yeah, this might be some kind of trap where he is a sacrifice to God or some crazy shit, but either way, that would be proof. And that's all Mel ever really wanted. Mel followed Burke wearily down the ridge, keeping as good an eye on his friend as the terrain. Upon reaching the bottom and crossing into a shallow grassy valley, he could feel a warm nostalgia rush over him. He can't place it and knows he has never been here before. Did Preacher Boy slip him something? Is he using LSD to get him to think he sees God? Either way, this feels eerily familiar. Here. It is really dark in there. You will need this to see where you're going. Burke handing his friend the torch, bringing Mel back to reality. As he entered the cave, flicking to life the beam from his torch, bringing it all into view, hitting him like a ton of bricks, stopping Mel dead. I've been here before. The admission breeds clarity, saying the words made them real. Not actually been here, but it was in my dream. Like this exact cave, except you weren't here, and neither was I. I mean, I was here, but more like I saw myself in third-person view. And you weren't here, but I wasn't alone. I was talking to... Mel couldn't say it out loud. God.
Mel wanted empirical evidence. But was this enough? Click the top link in the description to get your copy of Book of the Dove right now.